Yeah. You know, the French almost didn't want to bring soda into their country.
Why?
Because they thought it would destroy the wine industry.
Nice.
I think they had nothing to worry.
Alright, well, we got stacks of news here on the We Are Change East Bay News Show.
And my thing is, I don't want to be leading anybody down my road.
I'm not. I'm about telling. It's just like I train people. Think on your feet.
The whole thing is that you might not think that you're leading somebody down that road, but
yeah, but
they
you should never question that. Man.
No, but
I never questioned it. I just know that my moral compass is taking me where I need to go.
Is
if
always,
I'm going down the wrong road,
always put yourself in somebody else's shoes.
Oh, now that I do.
The person that you're talking to, try to put yourself in their shoes as much as possible.
Because some of them are on the edge, and I've told Greg this too.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of people who are just looking at people like that saying, are they crazy or is this a bunch of BS?
The more that I meet, there's a lot.
20 years ago, I would say, what are these assholes talking about? That's how I would have looked at it.
All I know is that everybody knows what Illuminati is.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows it's something. I had the guy that hooked up my cable the other day. He's like, the news was on, and the news story was they're setting up this little missile, it looked like a drone, into space to research black holes. And that's what the news story said. The guy's like, yeah, bullshit, they're using to spy on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just came out and said it.
See, here's the thing.
People know what's up, man.
This is why I say I trust humanity. And a lot of people, they lose faith in humans because they just have faith in whatever.
Trust but verify.
Well, no, I'm just saying people just have faith in the divine. Of course I have faith in the divine, but I also have this faith that we're created in the image of the divine, so we're going to do what the divine needs us to do.
Right.
So you can brainwash someone for so long, it's just going to stop working, dude. It's like telling
they understand.
It's like telling your kid Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus, Santa Claus. It only works for so many years. They've been trying to fucking brainwash us with the media for the past 80 fucking years.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, they succeed. The only problem is now people are starting to get it.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. So kind of like, you ever seen the movie Dark City? Not too much.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
So the movie Dark City, right? In that movie, it's a spaceship where they have humans in there, and there's these watcher types, like the Illuminati, I guess you can say. And they're just watching society, they're just watching things.
Which one is this?
It's called Dark City. So in the movie, they have the power to like literally make everyone go to sleep. Where they could just like...
And then they change things.
And then they change people's lives. So with that said, one of the things that's happening with this Ron Paul thing is that it's breaking the movement up.
Yes, it's dividing.
It's dividing the movement, but we can also look at it like this. When you have a solid movement of people following an individual, they can assassinate the individual. Now, if people are behind an idea, millions of different groups, all these different groups, not behind a person, but behind an idea. So an idea such as abolishing the Federal Reserve, bringing back the gold standard so that we actually have a currency that's backed by something, not backed by paper or what we believe it to be worth.
Right.
You know, so
they give us paper for our jobs.
Right. So ideals is what we need to be behind, not people.
The king has no clothes.
Right. Well, then, yeah, definitely. Right now, I mean, right now, Obama's up there naked with the Peace Prize, talking about we're going to invade Syria.
But speaking of that, I'm going to bring up an interesting subject. They saw another spiral in the sky again, and they said, oops, yeah, Russia shot up another missile. How come when the United States do these tests, it doesn't do that? Do they have special missiles that just send the spiral?
That does not look like a missile.
No, it is not.
Why would they even say it? I mean, how
and it's
do
a
they think we
huge
are?
spiral. It's not a missile, people. I know.
It's like the chemtrail that was spotted off of SoCal last year. That was a freaking missile. I mean that was a freaking. It came right out of the freaking ocean, man. It was launched from a submarine.
It was Chinese submarine.
So maybe that wasn't a missile.
They're the one launched
because they're saying missiles are launched by China.
They said it was launched by China.
Yeah.
That's to bring us fear. I don't think it was launched by China. That was a fear, false flag, like, oh, China's attacking us.
Well, we could debate that. I don't know. There's a lot of...
There's no evidence because China's not that stupid,
to
be honest. They're not going to be blasting missiles. What they would do was bring their ships in to do exercises. That's their demonstrational power. They don't go shooting off missiles. America does that subterfuge. If you look at China, they'll bring in their fleet just cruising by, and they'll bring in their big guns. They don't need to set off a missile to scare people.
No, I agree with that, but also I would argue this. So one of the things that happened with the United States military and then actually the Navy.
Because the Navy would know if we had a Chinese
no, we wouldn't.
submarine.
That's the thing. That's the thing. We live under this illusion that China's this backward country.
They're not.
Who is not technologically savvy, who is not technologically advanced.
So
we have this arrogance as Americans to say we got nukes, we got peacemakers, we have lasers,
all we need.
We have Sable rounds that can come down from space. We've been right. So all this technological fantasy of us being technologically dominant is a bunch of paper taggers posted up along our shores where
it's Americanism.
Where well, not only that, but with this whole illusion. So with the illusion, we do these drills in the Atlantic, in the Pacific, in the Mediterranean, all over the world. There was a drill where the United States Navy was in the middle of the ocean, deep ocean water, Chinese submarines snuck into the training operation undetected by American boats. What does that tell you? That tells you that the Chinese have the capability of getting their submarines into the San Francisco Bay, potentially, and other protected areas along the California coast.
Yeah, but
raise
that's
periscope.
a bad idea. They're not
No, of course it's a bad idea.
I don't know.
But again, who's in charge of it all? Who finances all sides of the war? The bankers don't give a shit about World War III. They want World War III because they're gonna bankroll every single side of the war.
Here is the deal,
and again, it goes back to that cabal
because
we're talking about.
On the American side, you'll have
Illuminati.
people that are working as counterintelligence. This is where that type of problem occurs. When the Chinese do get in, you may have a special officer who's in charge of monitoring the ocean. We'll just say it in that vernacular right now, and he knows this. And he goes, "Oops. What's that? Oh, look, sounds like," because each thing has a signature sound.
Oh yeah, of course.
And they go, oh, let me listen. No, I don't think it is. And he waits till it's going to listen. Nothing there. You have to see.
Right.
It can be subterfuge in the midst because we have a lot of people that work for Russia, that are in Congress, that are in the military, and right now at the top, there's no separation. You'll see George Bush with Putin.
Right.
In the Masonic robes.
Right, exactly. And then the emblems and the symbology of these governments. I mean, China's star, Russia's star, our stars, 5-pointed stars. Come on now, the star of the North, or what was that, the Masonic star.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all the same. One person that actually pointed me towards that direction, I don't agree with this person 100%. I kind of, take it with a grain of salt. But Jordan Maxwell talked about that. He said that one of the things that he noticed back in the 50s, waking up to all this, well, why is Russia medals and American medals and their law enforcement and the military all the same? It's all the same type of symbols. Iron crosses, 5-pointed stars, the Medal of Honor is an upside-down star.
And it's the same here, as you notice.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what Jordan Maxwell was talking about. And you look at the law enforcement badges. You have the upside-down stars, the stars of David, the 5-pointed star, which a lot of sheriffs will argue, oh well, the 5-pointed star is a representation of the 5 points. Well, no, the 5 points of being a sheriff, which I don't remember exactly, but there's 5 points and reasons why you're sheriff. So that was their argument. But again, you look at the military of all these countries, they're funded and financed by the same bank. So so World War III, we look at, okay, so we want to say China's the bad guy, right? China's not the bad guy.
No.
China is actually probably our best friend right now, because if it wasn't for China, we wouldn't be getting all that cheap shit at Walmart that you love to buy.
And our economy would be tanked.
Right. So
love to buy it.
Or just set up so their economy goes.
Right. I mean, China and the United States is a symbiotic relationship.
But they're currently trying to establish their own currency as an international trade.
Whoa.
The yuan.
But again, that goes back to the bankers. The bankers have everything to gain from that. The bankers at this point need to destroy the dollar.
Because it takes all that. See, what that does is it takes all the assets from us.
Right.
And puts it in there.
Right, and all these savings accounts and all these bonds and IRAs and 401ks, by the time you cash out that $16,000 check, $24,000 check, $100,000 check, your purchasing power, well, you're going to be able to buy a tuxedo for $100,000. be able to buy a pair of pants for about 90 because inflation is gonna shoot through the
And
roof.
bread for about the same price.
And bread for about $40 a loaf.
A bottle of
Standing
wine,
in line, right?
$500.
Dude, I hate
You
to
know,
stand in
just
line.
like Zimbabwe. You know.
And it's coming to America. You heard it, but it wasn't heard here first. There are many people out there
Oh, yeah.
warning you.
The
Right,
only
yeah.
thing, the only thing that may stop we already have hyperinflation. let's
It's
face it,
getting
but-
there. It's
No,
going to be.
and the really super hyperinflation
Right.
is that we still are the anchor for the world economy. The
If
whole
we go
world
under, the
does-
whole world will have a shock.
the whole
Oh, yeah,
world
there'll be a
depends on
ripple
us.
effect.
Therefore, they're going to do whatever they can to keep our economy from doing that. And that's one reason why China buys our treasury.
That's why we're getting
Yeah,
so
but
many.
now they're dumping our treasury bonds.
They're doing
They've
it slowly,
been
though.
dumping our
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
not
yeah,
doing
yeah.
it.
They're not going to do it fast.
Which is the reason why we're also invading all these oil countries, because we're using oil as a way to prop up our currency.
and
That's what I
and
thought,
we're
yeah,
giving
yeah.
it to China,
Right.
or we'll give them.
Well,
We're gonna have
their
that
assets.
anchor,
That's what
the
trades on.
anchor
Well, we're
in
also
the-
giving them land and free trade zones. There's about 370, which they're
Yeah, we
putting
give them our land.
soldiers, and yeah,
Do you know that
and
Nixon,
states. And,
Nixon passed the EPA bill? He used all the government-owned land in the United States as collateral for the debt that China
Yep.
was buying.
Yep. That's why they're getting. See, he's so that basically, and that's why Hillary goes to China. She's saying, "Well, we've got this, this, this." There are whole states and
Oh
whole
no,
things that are given
Hitler.
over.
I mean, Hitler and Bill Clinton. I mean,
There we go.
they both worked with the Chinese in the regime of '98. I mean, that's
Yep.
why we had the Lewinsky scandal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Had nothing to do with getting his dick sucked. It had everything to do with keeping the cattle distracted,
Had a little bit to do.
caring about this
Oh, they're
president.
probably involved in a lot more of that stuff.
They wanted
Yeah.
to distract
But even
us
that
from all
was
the
like,
deals that
dude,
they were making with the Chinese.
He must have done something really
It was
bad.
more than that.
Well, no, it was a distraction to get the people's eyes off China's
But there's
deals.
so many things that they could have
He made
done
so
for
many
the-
he gave them
the
nuclear
fact
secrets,
that
for
they
Christ's
chose
sake.
that means he did.
That's why
maybe
China's
that's
now
why
in
he did
space.
this.
You know, all the I mean the
Japan,
elitist
China,
the elitist plan.
India.
Well, what's the elitist plan? What's the New World Order's plan? I mean, there's several plans. One of the plans specifically go to space and blow the planet up for the hell of it.
Right, and not only that, to bring every powerful sovereignty.
I mean, this is in their writings. You can look this up.
Well, I've heard stories,
Transhumanists and all this stuff.
that they are
Pandemonium's
planning
engine.
on leaving Earth. I mean, that's you could hear a lot of people talk about that. I don't know how true that is, but one of their plans is for all the elites to leave the planet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and there's
Go
already
where?
stations
To
for them
Mars?
I
established.
mean,
to live.
Moonraker. I mean,
It's not.
that
fallacy.
wasn't just to make a movie.
And why do you think the
Destroying it,
shuttles are going up all the time and they're up there days and days and days? It's not that they're just hooked up. They're telling you that.
I think
But they
most
could
of
be
that stuff,
shipping to
most
the-
of that propaganda, the symbolisms, and the numerology are meant for their minions. They're meant to lure people into that and make them think that they're going to get some type of power if they
Yes.
look
Well,
at these numerologies, look
yeah,
at the
it's that,
symbologies,
but there's
and
also-
yes,
there's
it's
nothing
also-
wrong with exposing it and talking about it. We have to make sure that we're not using that.
And the
that
thing
we're
is,
not going down
and be
that.
careful because they don't use it to guide themselves. They'll put
They don't
that
use it for
out.
good.
They
you can't
they,
use that ring for
No,
They
it's
do
good.
it by
spiritual.
intelligence.
It's spiritual vampirism.
they use plans just like we do, but they'll use one element, then another, and they'll make you go a direction like the number 11.
Well, that's all.
Or they'll
That's all
say, by the
metaphysical.
stars.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
metaphysical stuff to me.
They
is,
communicate
there is a
through
lot of
breeze.
reality in the metaphysical,
Yeah.
but
Well,
then there's
absolutely.
also a lot of bullshit in the metaphysical too. Again,
Well, it's something that you don't understand. See, the thing is
Probably more
that
in the
you can't
Bible,
prove
actually,
this stuff
metaphysical.
with logic.
That's
So
pretty
a lot of it's stuff that you don't understand. It's like a lot of people talking about, whether it's astrology or numerology.
Well, the thing is,
It's based
on
reality
real.
is
I mean,
different
you
than
don't
what we
understand.
perceive.
That's the other one is the whole
Perception is not reality. That's one thing we have to realize. And not everything we think is true. The thing that we have a problem with that I've seen, and you may be agreeing out there, the thing is, just because we think it and we think we have information that seems to support us, doesn't mean that something is true.
well, yeah, it's consensus reality.
Yes.
I mean,
it's
the
herd
question
mentality. Yes.
of what is real.
Yes.
I mean, if we all came to an agreement that said this glass of wine is blue,
Yes. It would be blue.
it's blue.
And
Consensus
and
reality.
then I say, then it
is
has
a-
stars shining in it, because I see the shine right there. That's a couple of stars shining in
It
it.
sounds like brainwashing. It's all brainwashing.
What is? It's the Hegelian dialectic. It's Pavlovian programming. It's
Yeah.
conditioning.
That's all information is based on is emotional reactions. I mean,
That's
it's
true.
that's how the education system is. That's how media works.
But that's not real. What would be real is if all four of us wrote down it secretly, and then we all agree that this is the same color, coming to our own conclusions. And that's kind of how facts work. That's kind of where
exactly.
we're all
But that's
headed.
because
We all
you're an
see
open
the
mind.
same
That's not how
on
most people
on the
think.
same thing.
Most
Right.
people don't think that way.
Well, I
most
don't
people
know.
are conditioned to think the
I think
collective.
that
you know?
there's more
Right.
people out there, because if there's more people that are listening to, you know, Prison Planet and are listening to those type of shows, I think there's a lot more people out there. Just like there was many secret wrestling fans for many years. You know, there were many fans who watched wrestling, but they didn't tell
Like a
anybody.
guilty.
Oh
Right.
no! So you're
You know what I
talking.
mean?
No,
Like
I know
people
what
like-
you're
like
getting
Neil
at. So
Diamond.
you're talking about. Well, no, you're talking about the people that feel like they're alone.
Yeah.
And I've ran into a lot of those people, and this is why I urge people. You know, I always hear these people badmouth protesting. You know what? Tell that to Martin Luther King. Tell that to Cesar Chavez. Tell that to any other person that protested and made a revolutionary change. Tell them that protesting does not work. Bullshit. Protesting does work. And what protesting brings to me, as a person, myself, I run into people that know about this shit.
Tell the big thing about the big protest back in 1776.
Whoa, 1776, 3%
Did
of the
that
population.
change anything?
Yeah, exactly. 3% of the people protested against the government and rebelled and fought them.
Boston Tea Party,
Sorry, it
and
was
all of
only
a sudden
3%.
we have a new nation.
Right, so the Boston Tea
Protest.
Party was a failure, right. But see, before we go, check us out, wearechangeeastbay.org, wearechangesfbayarea.org,
And don't forget Heart Talk.
Heart Talk Radio, Wine and Cheese, got a
Yes.
lot of stuff going on, a lot of projects. You are the resistance, stay strong, be bold, and mighty forces will come to your aid. Jack Blood, baby.
Do it right and do it tonight.
Take care.